Yesterday, Austin Reeves, points and assists. We had the under. He went under that. He just didn't play good. Wasn't shooting the ball good. Sort of what I expected. We cashed on that. Steph Curry, we had him over in his assist. I think the number was 5.5. He went way over that, as we discussed yesterday. Curry's going to have the ball in his hands, and when he has the ball in his hands, he's a playmaker, and that's what he did last night. Schroeder was the one that did not cash for us yesterday. I had him over points and assists. He went under. And then we had two more baseball player total base, where the category was total bases for the two baseball players I chosen. I think the prop was 0.5, and both guys went over. I can tell you who that was. That was JJ Bledley, and Tristan Cassis for Boston. Both of those went over in that 0.5 for total bases. So overall, a good night. Let's keep it going tonight. First player I'm looking at here is James Harden. We're looking at his assists, 7.5. As you can see in the playoffs, he's only went over this 33% of the time. Last 10, he's only went over 40% of the time. Against Boston, he's went over 50% of the time. Last two games against Boston, the ones that are playoff games, he has not went over. First game, he did not have Embiid. Second game, he did. Now, here's what I find very interesting about this. Let's look at his home numbers. In home versus Boston, he's went over 7.5 assists both games. In the playoffs this year, he's 50%. Let's look at his last 10 at home. He's went over this mark 80% of the time. Let's look at the last 30. He's went over 83% of the time. So what James Harden are we going to get tonight? Let's look over here at the odds. The odds got him heavily favored to go over. Everybody thinks he's going over, and I'm kind of going to have to lean toward the over also, but I can also see the under in this. But we're going to go with the numbers. 83% of the time this year, in the last 30 games, he's went over. Let's look at the full season. The full season, 86% of the time, he's went over 7.5 assists. I think we go back to the way they've been playing ball all year. Embiid is back. It's going to be a big night for Embiid. They're going to give him the MVP trophy right there. Those fans are going to be excited. All James Harden got to do is pass the ball tonight. They're going to go for a win, and I think him distributing the ball gives them a better chance at winning. 86% of the time in home this year, he has went over 7.5 assists. We have to go with the numbers, so we're going to take the over. Second play I'm looking at is going to be we're looking at Kevin Durant, and we're looking at his points. Let's pull it up here. Kevin Durant's prop on the night is 28.5. Has 29 here. It's 28.5 on Prizepicks. Let's go back to the Harden thing for a second. This prop has not went up yet on Prizepicks. Let's show this again. Let's do this again. Let me hide that. Let me fix this. This prop for Harden hasn't went up on Prizepicks yet. It's going to go up to 8. I can tell you right now. Had to correct that. It's going to go up to 8. It just hasn't done it yet. It's just hard to bet against him when you seeing that he's went over and home 86% of the time this year. So we're gonna go with the over on that. Now let's get back to Durant. The actual line for Durant on Prizepicks is 28.5. Let's look at the numbers here. Let's push this down to 28.5. He's went over this 43% of the time in the playoffs. So we're looking at the playoffs for Durant right now. The last 10 games, he's only went over 28.5. 50% of the time. Against Denver, he's went over 28.5 3 out of 4 games. Let's go over here and look at the let's do it over, under. Let's go over here and look at the books. Let's see what the books are doing. And let's verify that he's still 28.5 on the books. I mean on Prizepicks. Yeah, his points are still 28.5 on Prizepicks. So looks like a lot of the books got him at 29.5 with the 28.5. This number is going to change also. So jump on it. We're going to go take the over of 28.5. Number one, he has to be the option. He has to go out and score. They're not going to win with Devin Booker being the number one option, which kind of looks like to me they're just taking turns. Durant has to get aggressive here. Chris Paul is out. I think we're just going to see a lot of shooting by him and Booker, and I think he shoots his way past 28.5 points. So both picks I gave you, I'm not 100% sold, but the numbers are telling me to go this way. Kevin Durant over more than 28.5. James Harden over 7.5 assists. So things change during the day. I put that over on Patreon, and I will have some more picks on Patreon. Also, only 2 games on the NBA schedule tonight. Had a tough time pulling these plays out. I like to give out plays that's going to hit. So today was a little tough. I did come up with 2. I will have some more on Patreon. But that's pretty much all I have for today. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share. All those things would be greatly appreciated. Until the next video, peace.